Close your eyes for a moment and imagine this is your last night on Earth. Not in a poetic way, not in a symbolic way, but literally. You're lying in a quiet hospital room. There's a soft beeping of a monitor somewhere behind you. Moonlight slips through a half-open curtain. You can feel the weight of your own breathing. And for the first time in your life, you know with absolute certainty there are no more tomorrows. No more time to postpone the things you've been meaning to say. No more later, no more someday, no more excuses. This is it, the final cage of your story. Now imagine the door opens. Someone you love walks in. Maybe it's your mother, your father, your partner, your best friend, or your child. Whoever comes to mind first is usually the person your heart has unfinished business with. They sit next to you, quietly, and you realize you have to speak. You have to say the things you never said loud enough. The gratitude, the apologies, the truth, the love. Everything you softened, postponed, or buried because you assumed there would always be more time. And as you try to speak, your voice cracks. Because in that moment you see it all so clearly. How much you cared, and how often you failed to communicate it. Then imagine another person entering the room, and another, one by one. And each time you are forced to say what you wish you had said years ago. The words you swallowed, the feelings you muted, the boundaries you avoided, the forgiveness you withheld. And with every goodbye, the silence afterward hits you harder. Not because you're dying, but because you realize how much of your life you lived half-expressed. How many moments were missed. Not because you didn't feel the love, but because you didn't speak it. Most people think they fear death, but what they actually fear is dying with the truth still inside them. But here's the part that surprises people the most. After the tears stop, after the emotional collapse, something unexpected happens. A shift. A clarity so sharp it feels like waking up from a long sleep. You suddenly know who genuinely matters. You know what genuinely matters. You see exactly what you would regret and what you wouldn't. And you feel this strange mixture of grief and relief because the truth is so simple and so obvious that you wonder why you never lived like this before. From this point on, people change. They start calling the people they love instead of waiting for the right time. They start apologizing first, not because they're wrong, but because the relationship matters more than their pride. They start forgiving, not to erase the past, but to cut themselves free from it. They start saying, "I love you," without embarrassment, without hesitation, without waiting for an occasion. And here's the real breakthrough. You don't need to be dying to have this transformation. You don't need a hospital bed. You don't need a countdown. You don't need tragedy. You just need to stop pretending you have infinite time. Because pretending you're not going to die is one of the most damaging beliefs you can hold. It makes you lazy with your love, careless with your patience, quiet with your gratitude, terrified of honesty, and numb to the miracle of being alive. It's like playing a game of basketball while pretending the clock will never run out. You don't play with passion. You don't take risks. You don't shoot your shot. Without an ending, the game becomes meaningless. And without awareness of death, life becomes dull, distant, and delayed. We keep telling ourselves, someday I'll fix that. Someday I'll start that. Someday I'll say what I really feel. We live on an imaginary island we call Someday Isle. And the problem is, someday never arrives. But here's the paradox. The moment you vividly imagine your last day, you are suddenly reborn. Your values rearrange themselves. Your priorities sharpen. Your ego shrinks. And life tastes richer, more intense, more urgent. You start living like every conversation might be the last, because one day it will be. So before you go to sleep tonight, try this. Imagine just one person walking into that hospital room and ask yourself, what would I regret not saying? Say it now, not later, not someday, now, because the truth is simple. It isn't death that scares us. It's the idea that we might leave this world without ever being fully known,
without ever being fully honest, without ever being fully alive. Life is short, but meaning is long. And love, spoken out loud, lasts longer than we do. So say what you need to say, while you still can.